And the lesson was taken from Genesis chapter 8 from the very first verse. And it says, "And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged the fountains also of the deep, and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen." Bringing greetings from St. Paul Spiritual Baptist Church under the leadership of Ashley Gumbo-Swain, Reverend Mother Superior Lancaster, Superintendent Mother Marshall. To each and every individual on this platform, a blessed good afternoon to you. I hope you are enjoying this beautiful Sunday evening. Today the theme is He Didn't Forget. And the overall theme is restoration. This series, this beautiful series called Restoration. And oh my God, I am so excited. Today I simply want to talk about this ark experience. So God instructed Noah to build an ark. And with instructions, God was very specific. He gave detailed description of how he wanted this ark to be built. And he said, I needed to be 300 cubits in length. The breadth I needed to be 50 cubits. And in height I needed to be 30 cubits. And I look at that and it was very detailed. When God is instructing you for something, it is specific to you. Yes. What he have for you is directly for you, not for your neighbor, because he know you. He know you as an individual. He know what he is giving you. And I look at that and I say, you know what, God, truly, you are awesome. Because when the flood came, listen to me, when the flood came, it says that the water was 15 in height. It was 15 cubits high. It was high. And I look at it and I said, God, tell him to build it 30 cubits high. And it tells me that God, when God is dealing with you, even if the enemy come, he does come short. When the enemy come in, he might come 15, but God already tell you to build 30. Come on. And I look at that and I say, no, truly, God is awesome. Because when the enemy think that he has you at 15, God rise you to the occasion and he bring you on top the level of 30 cubits. So today I say, when God instruct you, that whatever it may be, whether he instruct you to build an ark, do it just according to the instruction. When God dealing with you, sometimes people just marvel. Sometimes they can't seem to understand. They can't comprehend the work of God. But when God is working in you, when God gives you a directive, follow that instruction. Because that the ark needed to be big enough, not just to house Noah and his family, but he needed to house the animals. Because when God wiping out, there is nothing will be left to save. So in this ark, let me tell you something. Sometimes when God calling you to the ark of safety, sometimes it's just you and your family alone. Sometimes calling you to the ark of safety and need you to bring, because hear what God telling me, say, bring your sons wives and your wife. He didn't tell him nothing about the other generation. He didn't tell him bring your neighbor. He didn't say bring a friend. But I need you now to be obedient, because what I'm about to do to you, not everybody can endure what is going to be done. Not everybody have that will and that drive that I need you now to endure 40 days and 40 nights of rain. And rain simply just means some struggles in our life. Can you imagine? being in a place. Today, I want to say Noah was on quarantine. I want to say that he was in a place that was confined, in a place that isolated, a place that in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the storm, yet God provided refuge, yet God provided safety. And let me tell you something, when in this ark, as the Bible said, there are so many animals, there are so many things. Sometimes we can't even stay in the same room as our brethren for an hour. Sometimes we cannot even stay in the church when trials and tribulation hit us. But today, Noah and his family, even with some animals that, mind you, are creatures of all different species, he had to stay in the ark. Sometimes the first instinct of us, of our nature, human nature, is to run. But here we have Noah staying in the ark. In the midst of your troubles, in the midst of your trials, in the midst of your discomfort, in the midst of things that you did not think could have happened to you, today I am saying that God did not forget you. I am saying in the midst of this pandemic, when you thought that your life would have progressed further than how it is now, when you thought that you would have been in a better place financially, when you thought that your health would have been better, when you thought that by now you would have started building your house, when you thought that today you would have been married with children, when you thought that blessings and reward would have come to you, when you thought that God in the midst, that God called you, here I am saying that even in the ark, which may seem uncomfortable to you, this pandemic may seem uncomfortable to you, but I come to say that God did not forget you. But I come to tell you that in the midst of your trials, in the midst of your tribulation, in the midst of the torment, in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the rain, God did not forget you. And with not forgetting you, He will provide a way for you to come out of this ark safe. He will provide an avenue for you to triumph. He will provide an avenue for you to come out victorious, even if there is no one else on the face of the earth. Even if there is no one else on the face of the earth. You know, and I want to say that in the midst of the ark, sometimes we just feel alone. In the midst of our storm, we just feel alone. In the midst of all the calamity that is going on around us, we just feel so much alone. Sometimes we just feel as though we're not in the presence of God. But today, I come to say sometimes God does leave us for a moment. Because I need you now to set aside some time. This time in the ark, I need you to set aside yourself. I need you now to meditate on me day and night. I need you now to realize that I am still here. I need you to understand that this ark period, this ark experience is just for a time. But that time, I want us, to take advantage of that time. That time I want us to be able to draw closer to God, to draw our relationship with God just a little closer. So if you are in the ark, and when I say ark is just a representation of a place that we may be in our life right now. It may just be a physical place or even an emotional thing in our mind that is blocking us in. Something that we feel so trapped. Something that may encamp around us that we can't seem to get out of. But I want to say, even in that enclosed place, God did not forget you. Even in that place that is confined and isolated, I am saying that God did not forget you. So all is not lost. Because even though the rain fall for 40 days and 40 nights, Noah couldn't come out the ark just like that. Come on. God is not going to allow us to come out of this pandemic, come out of this quarantine situation with ourselves or with our own being in the same condition. You can't come in the ark, leave the ark the same way that you come in. You cannot come in to something, come into this pandemic and leave the pandemic the same way. We cannot come out of church, go back into church the same way. So what I want to say today, if this is not a wake-up call, let me tell you something. We will not come out of this just like that. But today I want to say, although the doors may be closed, our hearts are not closed to God. Our eyes are not closed to God. Our minds are not closed to God. But today I want to say that we are preparing to go back into the house of God. We are preparing to be restored. But before the restoration comes, there is an ark experience. Before the restoration comes, there is a period of loneliness. Sometimes there's a period of isolation. Sometimes there is a period of fear. Sometimes there's even a period where we do not know what is going to happen or where we are going to be met. But today I want to be able to encourage somebody. I want to be able to encourage you that Christ did not forget you. All is not lost. Before we come out the ark, there is a certainty that needs to follow. That we will not put new wines in old bottles. What am I saying? I am saying that the condition that we left the church, the condition that we left the inner courts, the condition that we live with, we cannot enter back in the church in the same condition. So we can't stay in church lying, come out, go back in the same church and lie. We can't come out in fornication, go back in the same church with fornication. Then there is no change. There is no form of change. But here, Jesus is telling us to make a change. The ark experience was to allow God to do what needs to be done, to right the whole world of the corruption. Adventure, what is telling us that there is too much of corruption in the house of God. That we need to move away from that. We need to move away from the things that easily beset us. We need to move away from the things that keeping us back. We need to move away from the things that holding us back from having that relationship with God. So while this time, maybe you and your family, God is telling us, work on our family. Build our family. Build our relationship with our family. Build our union with God. And today, I simply come to say, when we come out of the ark, when God restore that was broken, when He restore that that needs restoring, when He refilled, when He rejuvenate, when He revitalize, we cannot be the same. And today I want to stress on that. I want to say that we cannot be the same. Then what is the sense of it all? But we need to see that change. He needs to know that here what you have changed, you have developed, you have grown, and there is progress in your ministry with God. So today I want to say, take that ark experience and see how your ministry with God is. Take that ark experience and see your relationship with God. Sometimes we need to tune up on our relationship. Sometimes we need to do things to improve our relationship. So how is your relationship with God? Does it need restoring? And for those of us who have not yet believed, for those of us who have not yet come to Christ, to those of us who have not been baptized as yet, today I want to say, take this time, this ark experience, take this time and be able to get close to Him. Be able to hear from Him. Be able to build that communication step by step. And for those of us believers, today I want to say, take this same experience and look and do some introspect. Take it and look at ourselves and see what needs to improve. See what needs to cut off. See what needs to mend. See what needs to break down. See what needs to be fixed. And let us fix it. Because we cannot go back in the church, in the walls of the church the same way that we left. And this is our time to fix it, to make changes. So today I urge you, today I encourage you, today I motivate you. Today I simply come to say, God did not forget you. In the midst of this whole situation, in the midst of this whole pandemic, God have not yet forgot you. Yes, your groceries may have run low, but it have not yet run out. It has not yet run dry. Yes, your finances has been lower than expected, but He still have not forgotten you. Yes, some of us are jobless, but that does not mean that He has forgot you. Yes, sometimes our marriages is on hinges, our marriages are tick, it's holding on a piece of a thread, but He still did not forget you. Sometimes our education is not where we want it to be. Our lifestyle is not where we want it to be. But today I say that God did not forget you, and He will not forget you. But there has to be something that to make Him remember you. Let me tell you something. When you want God to recognize you, when you want God to give you the attention that you may want, when you asking God for something, you need to give something in return. God just can't wake up one day and say, well, all right, let me look down upon you. But I need now to put out something for God to remember me. Because it says that when the Israelites cry out to God, it's then He remember and He acknowledge the Israelites. Are we crying out to God? Are we in a place where God can hear our voice and say, nah man, let me consider my daughter, let me consider my son? We need to be in that place where God could come and say, here, let me remember you. So today I want to say, let us not just make a shout with our mouth, but let us make that connection with God, that He will remember the covenant that He made with Noah, that He would remember us. God did not forget. I'll say that again. God did not forget. He know your name. He know where you live. He know everything about you. He know your likes, your dislikes, your weaknesses. He know your strength. God did not forget you. And because He know your name, He know what you need. Because He said that I will supply your every need. You may not get your want, especially in this time, you may not get your want. But guaranteed, your need is not lacking. Guaranteed, your need is what He will supply. Because my God is the God that changeth not. And that's what He say is that He will do. So my God did not forget you. He will not. He did not do it then, and He will not do it now. God did not forget you. Say it again. God did not forget you.
I am Brother Cummins.
And I am Sister Calamona. On behalf of the insightful Sunday theme,
We would like to thank you guys for viewing.
And this is the Restoration Project.